Alright, boys and girls, I'm ready to teach you how to warp and weft on your loom, which simply means to weave on your loom. You'll notice my loom is not colorful like yours, it just has black and white designs. For now, I want you to take your loom and turn it to the back. This way you'll see your name and your teacher code. If you forgot to write your teacher code, please be sure that you do. I don't want yours to get lost in another class. While I'm working, I want your hands away from the art materials so you can see what I do first, and then I'll pause the video and you can catch up to me and you can do it. So hands off, kiddos. First, we're going to take one of these templates that say Loom on them. We're going to flip them around so they fit nice and snug on top of your loom. Then, taking a pencil, you're going to go along holding it still and make a small mark on the inside of each of these little cuts. I know that for mine, it's going to be a little tricky to see because pencil is hard to see on the camera. But you'll make yours where you can see them. Be sure that you're watching that the plates don't twist and shift around, because then you'll make too many marks. Okay, you can go ahead and pick up your pencil and do yours, and then allow your neighbor to do theirs. Alright, moving along. Hopefully I paused long enough for you to get that done. We're going to lift off our template and you're going to count. Please be sure, I'm actually going to do a little star by this one. Be sure that you have 19 marks. I want you to count once and then count again. Make sure that you have 19. If you have 20, please erase one. If you have 18, squeeze one in there. Okay, now we have to cut our notches into our loom. You're not going to cut them like little triangles like these are. You're only going to make one small cut. Still looking at the back of my loom so I can see my markings. I'm going to open up my scissors on that line. And I'm stopping right about there. Excuse me. Stopping right about there. We don't want it to go any further. Okay, continuing around until you make all of your 19 cuts. Being sure they don't go too far into the plate. You can go ahead and start your cuts now. I'm sorry guys for coughing so much. I still have my cold. Okay. Now I have 19 cuts around the edge of my plate. The next thing we're going to do is what's called warping the loom. It's going to give us the strings that look like a spider web going from the middle outward in order to weave into that little spider web. So we're going to be warping with these strings around the outside. Everybody should have a piece of tape. And if I have not given you one, please raise your hand so I can see you. And we'll get you a piece of tape. Okay, flip your plate back to the back. And take one end of your string. Find one hole. It does not matter where it is. Just one. And stick a little bit of your string through. This piece we don't want to be too long because then that's wasting yarn. So that's about as long as I would put it. Take your piece of tape massage it into the back so that it does not come loose as you're weaving. Sorry again for my coughing. Okay. Turn your plate to the front. And you have your little string here at the bottom. I want you to take him and make him go across the street, meaning across your plate, and lay it down. I want you to count and make sure that you have 8 cuts on the left side and 9 on this side. So let me count. Okay, I'm having to move my string over one to be sure I have 8 on this side. Okay, again, 8 on the left side, 9 on the right. When you find that, I want you to very gently stick your string through. I'm not pulling hard. Just like when you floss your teeth, you want to be gentle. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the plate around until this very long string is pointing toward my belly button. It's pointing toward me. Okay? Now put yours down. I want you to watch. I'm going to find this one's next door neighbor to the left. That is his next door neighbor. That's the one that's right closest to him. Not this one on the right, but the one that's on the left. I'm going to take the string and bring it through the neighbor's door. He came up and through. Now, I'm going to take that string. It's going to go across the street and make the world's skinniest X. Is that an X right there? Nope. That's the number 11. Is that an X? Is that an X? Yes. Making sure it's a really skinny X. If you pull it over too far, that X does not become skinny anymore. It's nice and wide. So I'm coming right next to the top one. Okay, you can go ahead and do yours, coming up through the one on the left, across the street, and making the world's skinniest X. Alright, next, take your whole plate, turn it like a steering wheel until the string is coming out of the bottom. We're going to do the exact same thing again. We're going to find the neighbor to the left, not to the right. The neighbor to the left. The string is going to come out of that neighbor's door. He's going to run across the street and continue that X, making sure it goes close to the one you just came out of. Not way over here. Not over there, because it doesn't crisscross, but right there. And go in. You can do yours. Okay, same thing with our pattern. We're going to turn it like a steering wheel until the string comes out the bottom, finding the neighbor to the left, make him come out of the door. He's going to run across the street and go in at the top. I want you to continue watching for a moment until you feel like you have the pattern. Turn the steering wheel until the string is coming out of the bottom. Go to the neighbor on the left make it come out, running across the street and in at the top, turning the steering wheel till the string's coming out the bottom, neighbor to the left, run across the street and poke him in, and turn the steering wheel. Pretty simple once you get the pattern. Neighbor to the left, run across the street, turn the steering wheel. Now if you get lost or confused and your neighbor seems to get it, ask your neighbor for some help. Or you can always raise your hand and I'll be happy to come and see you. Now here is a big problem. This string is barely enough to go to that hole. So now I've got to go to my yarn monster to get some more string. Here's my yarn monster. Now, my yarn monsters are tied right there in the middle. We never pull from the middle because things will get tangled up. So I'm going to pick a nice bright color. I think I'm going to go for this lime green. I'm going to pull from the edge. You can hold it in the middle and slide that string right out. And it's ready to go. Okay. Here is the fancy schmancy knot that you are going to need to learn in my class. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. There we go. Look at that. That is awesome. Okay. These two strings, the green one's going to be tied to that yellow one. What I'm going to do is pinch them together where they have a very long tail. You can see these two tails go all the way across my hand. I'm going to loop, which simply means make a little circle. You're going to take the two tails, pull them through that circle. So they came right through the middle. And then taking these two sides, I'm going to pull very tightly. Once you have your knot, you know it's not going to come undone when you pull them like this. You can take your scissors and trim off those extra little hairs. And they're ready to go like this. Let me show you one more time. I'm going to show you with two different colors so you can really see that knot. This is the trickiest part to a lot of kids. Okay? Taking my two colors, whatever two are going together. I'm going to pinch them with my thumb and my finger, making sure I have plenty of tail here. Okay? Make a loop, which means make a circle, like this. Take these two little tails, they're going to go up through that loop. And then I'm going to hold these and pull really tight. And then trim off that extra. Okay? Excuse me. Alright, so back to what we were doing. I had to add a string because remember mine ran out, so I tied that little green on. I've got to go across the street, right there, and go in at the top. You should have now one little hole up here. I'm going to turn it around just like we did before. This little guy has one little next door neighbor that he can come out of. You'll know you have it if you can look around. All of the other ones are filled. On the back of your plate, the string goes every other one like this. I don't have any strings that crisscross over the back of my plate. Now, this little guy is going to start the weaving. Now, to weave simply means to go over, under, over, under, over, under, kind of like a little ocean wave. It's going to be a pattern. I'm going to start by going under and over this one, under this one, ooh, and over this one, over, under, over, under. It helps me to turn my plate every so often, so I'm still looking right up here. We just went under, so we have to go over, under, over, under, over, under. Now I'm going to turn my plate. You're going to see that this lime green string is starting to curve around like a little snail. I'm going to go ahead and pull him just a little, making him go to that middle of the weave. He can't go any farther because the middle stops him. If you get lost or confused and cannot remember which one you just did, just pull up a little bit. You're going to find the last one that you went under. And you're going to go again. Over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'm going to turn my plate a little bit. Ooh. And then give him just a little bit of tug. Not a hard pull, just a little pull to pull him to the middle. I've got to find out where I ended, so I'm going to pull up just a little. See how it's going under this little guy? Over, under. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. If you need help and this is confusing to you, come see me, because I will certainly help you out. Over, under. And once you get the pattern, you can pretty much rock and roll with this thing, pulling very gently as you go around to make it tighten in the middle. Before this green string gets too short, I'm going to go ahead and add on a new one. Remember that special knot we do? Taking these two tails, pinching them. That green one's connected to my weaving. The purple one is not yet. Pull them nice and long. Loop it around. Pinch it and make them go through the hole and out. And pull nice and tight. Now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to work on my weaving while I pause this video. And in a few minutes I'll show you what I have. Alright, as you can see, I have done quite a bit of weaving on mine. And as you're going out, you want to be sure that you're tying those strings on pretty securely to the other strings. If these little guys bother you when they're kind of sticking out, like that little knot is right there, you can simply flip him around and give him a little tuck through to the other side. And hide him once you have plenty of string to do that. So I just flipped him around, tucked him in. You won't even be able to see him. We're probably going to make our weavings about the size of a tape roll, about this big, and then finish them off by tying a little knot at the end to one of your warp strings, and you'll be done. I can't wait to see what yours come out with all those really bright, beautiful colors. Good luck, everybody.